Welcome to the deep dive. You know, we're all about getting the edge, really understanding those hidden factors.
Hmm.
And today, we're looking at something, well, pretty fundamental to muscle gain that, often gets overshadowed by protein counts and, sets and reps. Sleep.
That's right. Yeah, if you're serious about optimizing your physique, you really can't afford to treat sleep as just downtime.
Right.
It's actually a period of pretty intense biological activity, and it's absolutely critical for those gains you're working so hard for in the gym.
Precisely. And our roadmap for this, dive into the science of slumber and strength. It's a sharp piece called Sleep Hacks Insider, Boost Muscle Gains.
Okay.
So our mission is pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Extract the key actionable strategies and the core understanding of why sleep matters so much for muscle recovery and growth.
Makes sense.
So let's get to the chase. Could consistently great sleep actually be the missing link in your fitness progress?
It's a really powerful question to think about. The article jumps right in, pointing out that muscle growth isn't just built in the gym.
Right, not during the workout.
Exactly. The real construction happens afterwards while you're sleeping. The author's own experience kind of underscores this. They noted, significant improvements in recovery and performance once sleep became a real priority.
Which, when you really stop and think about it, makes perfect biological sense, doesn't it?
Totally.
I mean, this article reminds us that while we're out cold, our brains are anything but quiet. They're busy processing information, strengthening memories,
Hmm.
and crucially, orchestrating the repair of our bodies. So consistently cutting corners on sleep, it's way more than just feeling a bit groggy the next day.
Exactly. Like the author learned the hard way, insufficient sleep can actually stop muscle growth in its tracks.
Wow.
And even worse, it can elevate your risk of injury. It's really about reframing sleep as a core part of your training plan,
Not just an afterthought.
not just something you do when everything else is finally done.
Oh. Okay, now, the article brings up this idea of our circadian rhythm. Let's unpack this a bit. We're basically talking about our internal 24-hour clock,
That's it, precisely.
the thing that tells us when to feel awake and when our bodies are, primed for rest.
You got it. Think of it as your body's internal conductor. It's orchestrating tons of biological processes, but most obviously the sleep-wake cycle.
Okay.
And keeping that circadian rhythm stable is, well, paramount for optimizing both the quality of your rest and your recovery afterwards.
So consistency is key there.
Absolutely. The article really emphasizes aiming for that 7 to 9 hour window of quality sleep consistently. It's deeply tied into this natural rhythm, and it's just non-negotiable for long-term muscle growth and, frankly, overall health.
So it's not just about logging the hours, it's what's happening biologically within those hours that really counts.
Hmm.
The article then kind of takes us into the science, the repair mechanisms that are working during sleep. It's pretty remarkable how much is going on under the hood while we're seemingly just lying there.
Oh, absolutely. The article highlights things like neural activity, memory consolidation, and we can touch on how that actually ties into fitness later.
Interesting.
Tissue repair right down at the cellular level, and the, carefully timed release of crucial hormones.
Hormones like growth hormone, presumably.
Exactly. And then there's the homeostatic drive. That's that sort of accumulating pressure for sleep that builds up all day while you're awake.
Ah, right.
It's your body's signal saying, okay, I need rest, I need repair now.
It's like our bodies have this inherent recovery debt that just has to be paid off with sleep.
That's a good way to put it.
And the article keeps stressing this delicate balance between our built-in circadian rhythm and our individual recovery needs from, say, a hard workout.
Yes. But the recurring theme, the thing that keeps coming up, is definitely the quality of that sleep, not just the sheer number of hours you spend in bed.
That really seems to be the crux of it.
It is. You could technically spend 8 hours lying down, but if your sleep is all choppy and fragmented, if you're not cycling properly through those deeper, more restorative stages.
Then the benefits just aren't there.
Exactly. The muscle repair and growth benefits will be significantly less, which, naturally leads us to understanding those different stages of sleep.
Right. The article breaks down these distinct thingses, and understanding what each one does really highlights the complexity and why a full night's sleep is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with those lighter stages, stage 1 and stage 2. What's happening there?
Okay, stage 1 is that initial, very light sleep. It's really just a brief transition as your brain waves start to slow down, muscles relax a bit. You're easily woken up during this stage.
Kind of drifting off.
Yeah, exactly. Then stage 2 is a little deeper. Your body continues to wind down, temperature drops, heart rate slows, and you get these interesting little short bursts of brain activity called sleep spindles.
Right.
It's basically preparing you, getting you ready to enter the really restorative phases.
And those restorative phases, that's where the real muscle building magic happens, isn't it?
That's the one.
Which brings us to stage 3, often just called deep sleep. The article really focuses on this stage.
And rightly so. Stage 3 deep sleep is when your body releases the lion's share of human growth hormone, or HGH.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. And HGH, as we know, is absolutely vital for repairing muscle tissue damage during exercise, building new tissue, and replenishing energy stores. This is the most physically restorative stage.
So crucial for gains in recovery.
Absolutely. Think of deep sleep as like your body's construction crew clocking in for the night shift.
Ah, I like that.
That surge of growth hormone isn't just maintaining muscle, it's actively laying down new protein fibers, especially after the micro tears from your workout. Without enough stage 3 sleep, well, that crew is seriously understaffed.
And the building process gets delayed.
Significantly delayed, yeah.
Okay, then we have REM sleep, rapid eye movement.
Mhm.
This one always struck me as a bit paradoxical, like
Mhm.
your brain is super active, you have vivid dreams, but your muscles are essentially paralyzed.
It is fascinating, isn't it? While stage 3 is the heavy lifter for physical repair, REM sleep seems to be critical for cognitive restoration, things like memory consolidation, emotional processing,
Right.
and that temporary muscle paralysis called atonia. It's thought to be a protective mechanism.
How so?
Well, it basically prevents us from physically acting out our dreams, which could obviously be disruptive or even dangerous. It lets the body continue its internal recovery work without, you thrashing around.
Okay, that makes sense. So grasping these distinct stages really drives home the point that both the time spent asleep and the quality of those sleep cycles are just non-negotiable if you're serious about fitness.
Absolutely.
Now, let's circle back to that internal clock, the circadian rhythm. The article really emphasizes how much this influences the structure of our sleep, right?
It really does. And what's truly fascinating is the intricate link between our internal biology and the external environment, specifically light.
Light exposure.
Yes. There's a tiny part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the SCN. Think of it as the master clock.
Okay.
It sits right above where the optic nerves cross, so it gets direct light signals from our eyes. And it uses this light information to synchronize our entire sleep-wake cycle.
So it's literally using daylight to set our internal schedule.
Pretty much. The SCN acts like the conductor of our internal orchestra, using light as its baton. It cues the release of various hormones like cortisol to wake us up, melatonin to make us sleepy, and it even impacts metabolic processes that are crucial for muscle recovery.
Wow. The article specifically mentioned the benefits of getting natural light first thing in the morning. So opening the blinds isn't just about, like, feeling a bit cheerier.
Oh, it's far more impactful biologically than just mood. Morning light exposure helps to really anchor our internal clock for the day. It signals strongly to the body, okay, it's daytime, time to be awake, alert, active.
Gotcha.
And this early light also gives a positive kickstart to our metabolism and energy levels throughout the day. The article really stresses consistency here too, maintaining a regular sleep schedule, same bedtime, same wake-up time.
Even on weekends.
Ideally, yes, or as close as possible. That helps keep this crucial circadian rhythm properly synced up.
And it's not just about feeling more awake during the day, right?
Yeah.
This proper light exposure and rhythm are linked to better sleep quality at night. And crucially for our focus today, enhanced muscle recovery. So a consistent sleep schedule really is the bedrock.
Absolutely. It sets the stage for everything else. Now, the article moves into some very practical, actionable sleep hacks, concrete things you can actually do to optimize your sleep environment and your evening habits.
Yes. This section was great, really straightforward ideas. First off, minimizing noise and light in the bedroom.
Key.
They recommend things like blackout curtains, maybe a white noise machine. It makes intuitive sense. You're aiming for a quiet, dark sanctuary for sleep.
And temperature is another surprisingly critical element. The article suggests keeping your bedroom cool. Ideally, somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 15 to 19 Celsius.
That cool.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive maybe, but a slightly cooler room temperature actually helps your body's core temperature drop, which facilitates falling asleep and staying asleep.
Yeah, interesting.
Investing in a comfortable mattress, they suggest medium firm, generally works well, and breathable bedding also make a big difference to overall sleep quality.
Okay, moving on to habits. The article really underlines the importance of establishing a relaxing evening routine. and, implementing a device-free wind-down period.
Ah, yes, the tough one.
This is a huge challenge for so many of us living in this hyper-connected world.
It really is a widespread issue, but the science is clear. That blue light emitted from our phones, tablets, computers, even TVs, it directly messes with melatonin production.
Melatonin being the sleep hormone.
Exactly, the hormone that signals to your body, hey, it's nighttime, time to wind down. Blue light essentially tells your brain it's still daytime.
Right.
So the article wisely advises putting screens away for at least an hour before your intended bedtime.
And instead,
Instead, engage in calming activities like reading a physical book, maybe some light stretching, taking a warm bath, listening to soothing music, or a relaxing podcast. Just something low-key.
and I found that 4-7-8 breathing technique they mentioned quite interesting. Can you walk us through that?
Sure. It's a simple breathing exercise. You inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4.
Okay.
Then you hold your breath for a count of 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then you exhale completely through your mouth, making a gentle whoo sound for a count of 8.
4, 7.
8.
Yep, and you repeat that cycle maybe 3 or 4 times. The article suggests it's a powerful tool for calming the nervous system, reducing anxiety, and helping you fall asleep faster.
Deceptively simple, but sounds effective. It really can be. It forces you to slow down your breathing and focus. Now, let's maybe dive a bit deeper again into those specific scientific links between sleep and muscle growth, building on what we've covered.
Okay, so we already hit on growth hormone being key. The article reiterates its release peaks during deep sleep, playing that absolutely pivotal role in repairing and building muscle tissue after training.
Correct. And remember the REM sleep part,
Right.
where your muscles are essentially locked down during dreams.
Yeah, the atonia.
That's a fascinating protective mechanism. It basically allows your body to dedicate energy fully to recovery processes without being interrupted by you, like physically running in your dream.
Prevents disturbing the repair work.
Precisely. Furthermore, the brain activity during sleep isn't just random noise. As the article points out, the brain is actively consolidating memories, processing information from the day.
And how does that help muscle growth? Is it like remembering your workout plan?
It's a bit more indirect than that. Efficient memory consolidation and brain processing during sleep are linked to better overall physiological regulation. Think better hormone balance, more efficient energy utilization, improved motor skill learning over time. It all contributes to better fitness adaptation and metabolic efficiency.
Ah, okay. So it's all deeply interconnected in this complex biological dance. Better brain function supports better body function.
Got it. Optimal sleep cycles, especially getting enough deep sleep, directly translate to more efficient muscle repair and ultimately greater growth potential.
So the key scientific takeaways the article hammers home are that growth hormones surge in deep sleep, the muscle protection during REM sleep, the brain's processing work, enhancing memory and metabolism, and just the fundamental need for healthy sleep cycles to drive repair.
Exactly, a really concise summary. Now, the author also shares quite a bit about their personal journey in figuring all this out, which I think will resonate with a lot of listeners who've maybe struggled. They initially found it really hard to fall asleep, even after exercising consistently, and often felt just drained, persistent fatigue.
It's a common trap, isn't it? Thinking that if you just work out hard enough, sleep will automatically follow.
It is, and the author highlights that classic mistake of ignoring those early signs of fatigue and trying to just catch up on sleep on the weekends.
As we've discussed, doesn't really work with our biology. You can't just bank sleep like that.
Not effectively, no. The real turning point for the author came when they consciously decided to align their daily habits with their natural circadian rhythm. And crucially, they started using a smart device, like a watch or ring, to actually track their sleep patterns.
Getting objective data.
Exactly. This gave them invaluable insights into the quality of their sleep, not just the duration. And it revealed a surprising deficiency in REM sleep, even on nights when they thought they'd slept long enough.
That's really interesting. So the time in bed didn't match the actual restorative sleep.
Precisely. And that's where those practical adjustments we talked about really came into play and made a difference for the author.
Right. The cooler bedroom, the blackout curtains.
Yep. Introducing white noise, sticking to a consistent pre-bed routine, and being really strict about avoiding screens in that hour before sleep.
It's a powerful example of how these seemingly small tweaks can add up to significant improvements in sleep quality over time.
Definitely. And the author makes a great point. Optimizing sleep isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. It often requires a bit of self-experimentation.
Trying different things, seeing what works for you.
Exactly. And being persistent, finding the combination of strategies that syncs best with your own body and lifestyle. Which kind of brings us to another crucial aspect the article touches on.
Which is?
Recognizing when sleep difficulties might be more than just general tiredness, when it might signal a more significant underlying issue.
Right. The author mentions realizing their ongoing sleep struggles weren't just the occasional bad night, it was becoming a pattern. The article outlines some common red flags for poor sleep quality. Things like persistent trouble falling asleep night after night,
Yeah, or waking up frequently during the night and struggling to get back to sleep.
lingering daytime fatigue, even if you think you got enough hours in bed.
Trouble concentrating or focusing during the day, irritability, those kinds of things.
It's really vital to pay attention if these signs become persistent, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because, as the article rightly points out, untreated sleep disorders, things like insomnia or sleep apnea, can carry pretty significant health risks down the line.
Such as?
An increased risk of cardiovascular problems like heart disease and high blood pressure, metabolic issues like type 2 diabetes, weakened immune function, the list goes on.
So not something to ignore.
Definitely not. The author made the important decision to seek professional medical advice. This typically involves things like keeping a detailed sleep diary, maybe doing a sleep study, consulting with a sleep specialist.
And then following a personalized treatment plan.
Exactly. It really underscores the importance of not just trying to tough it out if you're chronically sleep deprived. Early identification and getting the right help can be crucial for protecting both your immediate well-being and your long-term health.
That's a really important point to end on regarding challenges.
Absolutely. So, to kind of synthesize everything we've covered from this article, the core message is crystal clear, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, optimizing your sleep isn't just a nice to have, it's not secondary. It's truly a fundamental pillar if you want to maximize muscle gains and reach your overall fitness goals.
It's about working with your body's natural rhythms, not against them. Strategically aligning that sleep-wake cycle helps facilitate faster, more effective muscle repair.
Which ultimately leads to better performance in the gym and faster progress.
And the science backs it up strongly. That connection between deep restorative sleep, the critical release of growth hormone, the intricate muscle repair processes, it's solid.
Not to mention the vital role our brain plays in recovery during sleep, like we discussed.
Right. And yeah, establishing and sticking to healthy sleep routines can definitely have its challenges in modern life. We get that.
For sure.
But the long-term rewards for both your physical gains and your mental clarity are just undeniably significant.
So we really want to encourage you, the listener, to actively experiment. Try out some of these practical sleep optimization strategies we've talked about.
Pay close attention to your body's natural cues, its rhythm. See what adjustments actually move the needle for you.
Be your own sleep scientist, in a way.
Exactly. And finally, maybe just consider this. What if even small but consistent improvements in your sleep quality could unlock a whole new level of progress in your fitness journey?
Progress you haven't experienced yet, because maybe sleep was that missing piece.
It's definitely worth exploring the untapped power that comes from consistently prioritizing a good night's rest.